we're not gonna talk about the fact that I wasn't supposed to really be buying books like that, but here we are. Thumbnail maybe, I don't know.
You are my sun. You are my sunshine. You are my sun. Red light.
I'm gonna get it. And she's a black author. We love that.
Black don't crack.
I may put this one back. I don't know. I'm torn. I don't know. All these are black authors.
Yeah.
I mean, not these. All these.
Maybe you should have.
These two are not.
Like, you should have. Really? Like, I thought that we were just gonna get like, one or two books. But,
This is like Target on steroids. Now we're headed to Half Price Books. Just kidding. Ghetto. Da, 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 da. welcome or welcome back to my channel. I wanted to provide you with a little haul of the books that I got. So I went to Barnes & Noble first. So then I also went to Half Price Books because I figured I might be able to find some books at decent prices. I just feel like books are just getting really expensive for no reason. So at this point I almost feel like I just want to shop it on Amazon for everything now. Like, books are just getting ridiculous. So I'm gonna start off with the books that I got from Half Price Books. It's my second time going to Half Price Books. They have a lot of the, like, I guess new and trending books towards the front, and I feel like they're not as cheap, but they're a little bit cheaper than you would find at like Barnes & Noble. And then going back, you kind of have to dig. It's kind of like going to a thrift store for books. There's a lot of used books, but there are some new ones tucked away. So I will go over what I found there. I got, how many did I get? Okay, I got 3 books from Half Price Books. The first one that I came across, and I had a few more, but I ended up putting some back. But the first one that I came across is called 100 Other Girls. And as you can see, the price was $8.49 for this one. You probably can't see now, but the original price was $16.99. So yeah, that's definitely half price. I randomly grabbed this. I've never heard of this author, Iman Haririkia. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, and this is what the author looks like. I will briefly read the summary. It says, how far would you go to keep the job 100 other girls are ready to take? Nora's life is a little off track. She's an aspiring writer and amateur blogger in New York, which is a nice way of saying that she tutors rich Upper East Side kids and is currently crashing on her sister's couch. But that's okay. Nora has Leela, who has always been her rock, and now she has another major influence to lean on, Vinyl magazine. The pages of Vinyl practically raised Nora. I hope I'm saying her name right. It's 2 O's. Teaching her everything from how to properly insert a tampon to which political ideology she subscribes to. So when she lands a highly coveted job as assistant to Loretta James, Vinyl's iconic editor-in-chief, Nora can't believe her luck. Her only dream is to write for Vinyl, and now with her foot firmly in the door and the Loretta James as her mentor, Nora is finally on the right path, or so she thinks. Loretta is an unhinged nightmare, insecure and desperate to remain relevant in an evolving media landscape she doesn't understand. Nora's phone buzzes constantly with Loretta's bizarre demands, particularly with tasks Loretta hopes will undermine the success of Vinyl's wonderkind digital director, Jade Aki. The reality of Nora's job is nothing like she expected, and a misguided crush on the hot IT guy only threatens to complicate things even more. But as Loretta and the old school print team enter into a turf war with Jade and the woke for the wrong reasons digital team, Nora soon finds herself caught in the middle. And with her dream job on the line, she'll need to either choose a side or form her own. So that's what that one's about. I feel like these books, the summaries get longer and longer, the entire thing. So I chose this because I think I've said it before when I was talking about the romance books for Black authors. I will always and forever love any book that relates to someone who's an aspiring writer, who is a writer, someone who loves to read books, who's writing a book, someone who's an author or someone who works for a publishing house or a magazine, editor, anything along those lines. Love that. When I was younger, I wanted to be a writer or editor on some like really awesome magazine like Essence or something like that when I was younger. I had this whole plan to like move to New York and become an editor for Essence. But I still write and I work in marketing. So anything along those lines, yes, I'm gonna eat it up every time. I love it. So I grabbed that after reading, I didn't read the entire thing. I think I read like the first 2 paragraphs and was like, you're coming with me. So there was that. The next book is called By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. And I think we've all seen this one. I wanted to pick this up when I did my library haul a few weeks ago, but it was not available because I put all my books on hold before I went to the library. So I grabbed this. It was $7.99. The original price says $15.99. Isabel is completely lost. When she first began her career in publishing after college, she did not expect to be 25, still living at home, and one of the few Black employees at her publishing house. Overworked and underpaid, constantly torn between speaking up for her stifling herself. Speaking up or stifling herself, Izzy thinks there must be more to this publishing life. So when she overhears her boss complaining about a beastly, high-profile author who has failed to deliver his long-awaited manuscript, Isabel sees an opportunity to prove her worth and finally get the recognition she deserves. All she has to do is go to the author's Santa Barbara mansion and give him a pep talk or three. How hard could it be? But Izzy quickly finds out she is in over her head. Bo Towers is not some celebrity lightweight writing a tell-all memoir. He is jaded and withdrawn, and it turns out just as lost as Izzy. But despite his standoffishness, Izzy needs Bo to deliver, and with an encouragement, his story begins to spill onto the page. They soon discover they have more in common than either of them expected, and as their deadline nears, Izzy and Bo begin to realize there may be something there that wasn't there before. So again, this is another book about writing. She works for a publishing house. She is I think she's in, well, it doesn't say. Also really, I gravitate to books that have to do with like Black women who are like the only Black person or one of few in the workplace. That is my personal experience. Still is to this day. And so I love to read stories about Black women who have to advocate for themselves in the corporate landscape. And so that definitely caught my eye when I was reading this. One that caught my eye, which unfortunately ended up being not the greatest book in the world, but it was The Other Black Girl. And one of my favorite parts was in the beginning, just like building the main character's story about her being the only Black girl in this publishing house and how she was treated and how she was learning to advocate for herself. And then the other Black girl shows up, and so it's like kind of competing to be that, like, I guess the person of attention and competing for this position and all that kind of stuff, and like dealing with the microaggressions. And so yeah, I definitely enjoy reading books that I can identify with, even though they are fiction. So I'm looking forward to reading this. And then lastly, well, from Half Price Books, I've had this book. This is called Black Buck, and I am not going to mispronounce this author's name, but I will just go ahead and zoom in for you. There we go. So I was at Barnes a few months ago, maybe right before Christmas, and I saw this book in my paperback at Barnes & Noble, and I quickly skimmed through the summary, and I was like, oh, that might be good. So I did add to my want to read list on Goodreads, and then I came across it again today at Half Price Books, and it was $12.49, and the original price says $26. So unfortunately, it's not in the best condition. I mean, I think it's just from being like, you know, shelved with other books, but it's a little like, there's like black marks on it, but other than that, I think I can probably get it off with like alcohol wipe or something. But other than that, like, it's a brand new book. So this one, another Black author, it says an unambitious 22-year-old Darren lives in a Bed-Stuy brownstone with his mother, who wants nothing more than to see him live up to his potential as the valedictorian of Bronx science. But Darren is content working at Starbucks in the lobby of a midtown office building, hanging out with his girlfriend, Soraya, and eating his mother's home-cooked meals. All that changes when a chance encounter with Rhett Daniels, the silver-tongued CEO of Someone, NYC's hottest tech startup, results in an exclusive invitation to Darren to join an elite sales team on the 36th floor. After enduring a hell week of training, Darren, the only Black person in the company, reimagines himself as Buck, a ruthless salesman unrecognizable to his friends and family. But when things turn tragic at home and Buck feels he's hit rock bottom, he begins to hatch a plan to help young people of color infiltrate America's sales force. setting off a chain of events that forever changes the game. Black Book is a hilarious, razor-sharp skewering of America's workforce. It is a positive, crackling debut that explores ambition and race and makes way for a necessary new vision of the American dream. So again, Black main character in the corporate world is what gravitated me to this book, and the fact that like he goes from being, you know, unambitious, working at Starbucks, just like doing the absolute least, to working in tech and then putting other people on. So I definitely want to see how this book turns out, and now I get why it's called Black Book. So yeah, this seemed really interesting. I gotta stop saying interesting. I gotta find out the word. All right, so now I'm gonna get into the books that I grabbed at Barnes and Noble. Let's see. So first I'm gonna start off with Jackie Hill Perry's Upon Waking. If you watched my Christian book haul that I did a few months back, I wanna say that was in November, I actually included this devotional in my book haul, but I have it as an ebook on my Kindle. I could not get a hold of the physical copy for months because it's been sold out. So I came across this and I was like, I gotta get it. So I grabbed it. So ain't no need to really like get into it. It's a must get. Like you gotta get it. You gotta get it. It's such a beautiful like devotional. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been as consistent with reading my devotional. I think that if I had it as a physical book, and maybe I'm making an excuse, but I want to like sit and highlight and everything. Yes, I can highlight on my Kindle, but there's something about the physical book when it comes to my devotional time, my study time. So I just wanted to, so I can shelve it. That's really it. So beautiful. So yeah, there's that. The next book is called Such a Fun Age. This is by Kylie Reed. And I've been eyeing this book for quite some time. Crazy thing is, I didn't know that it was by a Black author when I first heard about this book. And so a few months ago, someone did a review. I watched a YouTube video. I don't remember who it was, but they talked about reading this book and how good it was. And they were sharing a bunch of books by Black authors. And I was like, oh, okay. It just made me want to read even more, and then breaking down the storyline even more. I've only seen the cover. I've seen it when it was in Target when it first came out. I've seen it here and there on Bookstagram and YouTube, but no one really like talking about what it was about. So when this person like did a review on the book, I was just like, oh wow, like I'm intrigued. So let me read really quickly what this one's about. It says, Alex Chamberlain is a woman who gets what she wants and has made a living showing other women how to do the same. So she is shocked when her babysitter, Emira Tucker, is confronted while watching the Chamberlains' toddler one night in the aisles of their high-end supermarket. The store's security guard, seeing a young Black woman out late with a white child, accuses Emira of kidnapping. A small crowd gathers, a bystander films everything, and Emira is furious and humiliated. Alex resolves to make things right. But Emira herself is aimless, broke, and wary of Alex's desire to help. At 25, she is about to lose her health insurance and has no idea what to do with her life. When the video of Emira unearths someone from Alex's past, both women find themselves on a crash course that will upend everything they think they know about themselves and each other. So this is definitely something I want to get into pretty soon. Like, I just want to know how the story unfolds. Yeah, I'm definitely, let me see how long this one is. Not me wanting to read it tonight. Discussion guide. Okay. So it is, okay, so it ends at 305 pages, so I might be reading this soon. Next one, and then there's a theme here, a lot of Black authors. I think the only one that isn't by a Black author is the first one I got. All right, my next book, and for my next trick, all right, the next book is called Hold You Down. This is by Tracy Brown. And can we just get into this cover? All these covers honestly are really gorgeous. I judge books by their cover. So it says, New York City, late 80s to early 90s. It has always been just Mercy and Lennox Howard. Growing up on the mean streets of Harlem with an absentee mother meant that they had to have each other's backs. Now young, smart mothers, they are determined to survive in New York City while raising their 2 sons, Dion and Judah, who have bright futures ahead of them. Mercy is the quiet, straight-laced hospital administrator struggling to make ends meet. At night and on weekends, she pours her heart into her cooking and her dream of owning her own restaurant. Lennox is the diva, the wild child, looking for excitement and her big come up in life and love. Their boys have been raised more like brothers than cousins, forging a bond that is unbreakable. When Lennox heads down a path that she believes will bring success and power, it changes the entire course of her and her family's lives forever. As a result of their mother's choices, cousins Dion and Judah soon find themselves in uncharted territory. And then there was another book by this author called Single Black Female that looked good too. So depending on how I feel about this one, I'll read that one, which I think is backwards because Single Black Female came out first. But it's cool, it's whatever. All right, so this last one, my oldest daughter picked out, and I will say, I don't think I've read, have I? I think I read one book that she picked out once. It was, I think it was The Inmate by Frida McFadden. She told me to read that one. And anything from Frida McFadden is usually pretty good, but that one I gave 3 stars. But I will say, there's been a couple books that I purchased because of my daughter just picking it out based on the cover and the back. And I'm like, okay, keep it going. So she picked this one out. It's called Not So Perfect Strangers. Okay. And this is by L.S. Stratton and another Black author. We love to hear it. Okay, so this one says, Tasha Jenkins has finally found the courage to leave her abusive husband. Taking her teenage son with her, Tasha checks into a hotel the night before their flight out of DC and out of Cordell Jenkins' life forever. But escaping isn't so easy, and Tasha soon finds herself driving back to her own personal hell. As she's leaving, a white woman pounds on her car window, begging to be let in. Behind the woman, an angry man is in pursuit. Tasha makes a split-second decision that will alter the course of her life. She lets her in and takes off. Tasha and Madison Jingle may have different everyday realities, but what they have in common is marriages they need out of. The 2 women want to help each other. They just have different ideas of what that means, and they are on a collision course that will end in the case files of the DC MPD homicide unit. So yeah, I was like, ugh. So I definitely want to know what happens in this one. First of all, I love that the summary was short and sweet. Okay, the premise of the book is pretty scary. This was a thriller. It's a thriller. Yeah, so this one definitely had me like, ooh, that's coming with me too. So I'm excited to read all these books. Let me see how long this is. Okay, this one is 309 pages, and I actually like that the pages are bigger and the words are bigger as well. So I can see myself getting through this pretty quickly. All right, so these are all of my books, my new book babies that I brought home with me today. We're not gonna talk about the fact that I wasn't supposed to really be buying books like that, but here we are. Thumbnail maybe, I don't know. That is it for my book haul. I hope that you enjoyed it. And also I just want to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I think the last time I checked it was at 104. And I know some people are like, girl, 100, it's not 1,000. But to me, it makes a world of a difference. I have been wanting to start a channel for the longest time, and self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and just nervousness and fear creeped in, and I just didn't feel like I could do it. So here I am posting videos talking about things that I enjoy, posting about pieces of my life, reading my faith, showing you my work day, just the random things that are me. I am Erin Elizabeth. And so the fact that 104 people are subscribed to my channel and watch my videos and some comment and like I just think that's so amazing that I'm building this community, slow and steady, of course. So, you know, every milestone is a milestone, no matter how big or small. And so I just want to say thank you all so much for supporting this channel and watching my videos, no matter if you're watching the whole video or a piece or whatever, if you share. So if you haven't done so already, please take the time out to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.